Okay, so I am so excited because we're going to be talking about determination today. And there were some quotes that I heard that I wanted to share with y'all that literally just hit me like a ton of bricks. And, determination is one of the main keys to success. And one thing that I love that Brittany Howard shared in her podcast is she said, I did not go, she said, I had people that I was on the same team with who were going at a super fast rate, like years ahead of her when they hit their goals. And she said, the hardest part for me was realizing their journey is not my journey. And I had to be determined that no matter what, no matter if I did it as fast or as slow, but my determination that I am going to hit this no matter the speed, that is what is going to help me be successful, right? I have to make that choice of like I'm determined that no matter what hits me, no matter what tries to detour me, no matter how I feel, no matter my circumstance, I am determined that I am on my own race. I'm determined that I am going to hit my goals one way or another, right? And what I love is that she didn't do it as quickly. In fact, it took her several years to hit her goals, but she never gave up. You only fail when you quit. You only fail when you quit. So, something that I heard that she said that really stuck with me, it said, for successful people, frustration drives change. For people who fail, frustration drives them to quit. I don't know about y'all, but I get frustrated a lot in this business, right? I get frustrated like on the daily. Either conversations didn't go the way that I thought, this person didn't do what I thought they were going to do, I didn't hit the goal I wanted to hit, right? I stay in a constant place of frustration. Let's just be honest, right? But that frustration drives me. I am always determined that, okay, I didn't hit it this month. That's okay. Next month, we're going to start over. We're going to do it again. I always have that just fire burning of determination. It pushes me towards making a change. I have been that way my whole life. Like, I have been through several things in my life that could have very easily altered I made in a much worse place had I not chosen to be determined to make better choices for myself, for my family, for my children's future, right? I could have allowed the actions and the decisions of others to determine how my life ended up turning out to be. But I was determined that I was not going to allow someone else's actions and choices become who I knew that I was meant to be. So I made a choice. And no matter what, I was like, no matter what it takes from me, I am going to do more than what my circumstances tried to say that I should have been. Right. And so I've always had this fire in me that no matter how much I get hit, no matter how much I get knocked down, y'all, a couple years ago, I had a builder who stole a lot of money from my family, money that my husband and I had worked so hard to save. We had our dream land, we had our dream build, and it was supposed to be this blessing, and we were trying to be better financially and be good stewards and all the things. And then one person's choice to rob from my family caused us to lose everything like that, right? Now, I could have chosen to just stay bitter and angry, and I could have let that completely be what drove who I was and who I am and how I did things. But I said, you know what? I forgive them. Now, is that a daily decision? Absolutely. But do I forgive them? Yes. Because I'm not going to allow the choice that he made to alter the future that I believe God has for me and my family. So I'm going to learn from it. Lord, you knew this was going to happen. So I'm going to choose to trust you. And I'm going to choose that there's something in here that I'm supposed to learn that you're going to use for good. And guess what, guys? He's used it good. And my husband and I, we just picked ourselves back up. We started over. We ended up taking everything that we learned We self-built another barn dominium for my family, and can I tell y'all, 2 days before we got our CO, we found out that my dad had stage 4 cancer. Had I not gone through all the turmoil, all the everything that happened that led up to us making the decision of, okay, we have to sell this because we're in too bad of shape, right? Wasn't our fault, but it happened. We ended up making the decision to buy my childhood home. We really wanted, my dad has worked so hard. We wanted him to be able to take a step back and retire. And so we decided to build them an addition in our backyard and be a blessing and use what we learned. And we spent this last year building. And then 2 days before our CEO, we found out he had stage 4 cancer. And there was that moment of like, okay, like all those moments that I spent on my floor in tears, bawling and crying and grieving over the loss of what I had planned for my life, right? There was so much more that I was supposed to learn and push. Andrew told me this. He reminded me of this. I knew this. I don't remember if it's buffalo or there's a specific type of like big bison. Maybe it's bison. Do you know that when a storm comes, they don't run through it, they barrel through it? And the reason for that is because it'll be over faster. They would rather experience the discomfort of that storm and barrel through it because they know that once they get to the other side of it, it's going to be calm and peaceful and they'd rather get it over with. Right. And so I had this mindset of like, okay, we're going to just barrel through this. We're going to take what we've learned and we're going to apply it. And we're going to choose to make the best of this. Right. And then we had that moment of, okay, this is why. This is why we were meant to go through that hard stuff. Same thing in your business. We are going to have seasons that are going to be so hard and they're going to really take everything we have. It's going to be so uncomfortable. It's going to take everything out of us, right? And we're going to be frustrated, y'all. I have had days where I have literally had all the emotions in one day with this business. I have cried, I have laughed, I have been excited, I have been anxious. I have felt all the emotions in a single day with this business. But do you know that all of those things, it has just built, it's helped build and shape me into the leader that I am meant to be, right? Into the person that I am meant to be for this business because at the end of the day, this choice that we have made, all of us, this choice that we have made to step into this is actually the choice that is tied to other people's freedom. By us making this decision to step out in faith, to do something that really doesn't make sense to most people, because let's face it, most people don't understand it, right? So we've taken this leap of faith because we just knew in us we were made for more. Our family was made for more. We want to create legacy change, not just for us, but for other people. And it's because this leap of faith that we have taken, other people's freedom is tied to it. That's why we're here. We're here to help bridge the gap and to help bring other people over it to experience that time freedom, that financial freedom, whatever it is that they are looking for their family, their health and wellness. Being determined to be that person that no matter the storm that comes through, I'm going to dig my feet in and I'm going to barrel through and I'm going to go through it. Because guess what? What we learn through it is just refining us. It's that refining fire. It's just helping us to shape us into who we are meant to become. Brittany Howard said, becoming the person you are meant to be, right? To hit that goal isn't about changing your identity. Isn't about just becoming this whole different person just to become this whole different person. It's about who you are becoming in the process because of the refining fire that you're going through, because of the hard things that you're doing that you're helping to shape and mold you into who you are meant to become in order that's going to continue to take you further and further and further into this to allow you to achieve your goals, right? So, successful people are determined to figure it out. We are determined that no matter what, we are going to figure it out. That's one of the reasons why I asked my buddy Ian Thurber on here today, because let me just tell you something about Ian. Ian has been through a lot. He has had a lot of things thrown his way over the years. And if there's one thing that I have always admired about Ian, it's that he picks himself back up and he pushes through anyways. He's always determined that he is going to make the situation better. He's going to do whatever he has to do, and he's going to have joy in the process. He chooses that. I've watched him over and over and over continue to just pick up, dust himself off, and keep going. And so I wanted him to just jump on here for a minute and talk to y'all a little bit about, if you don't know about Ian, Ian is my level one. And he came in, he is a full-time firefighter, first responder. He is a new daddy to a sweet baby girl, and then his older buddy, Caden, and he is he's killing the game with his business. He's leading his team so well. John is underneath him, and they are just on fire. Let me just tell you. But he's also a football coach, and he does all the things. Like, he does all the things, right? And he's one of those people that when you look at him, you're like, dude, how do you even find 5 minutes to be able to do business? But he does it because he's determined. He's determined that he wants more for his family. So, Ian, would you just tell us a little bit about what it is that drives you, that no matter what life tries to throw at you, you just continue to dust yourself off and keep going?
Oh, shoot. It's we all have our whys, right? That's the thing about this business, is you find your why, and that's obviously been a driving force for me. My family, and knowing that they've come through all this with me, has obviously been a driving force as to why I'm like, okay, no matter what comes through, no matter what gets thrown my way, no matter what I have to give up now in order to make sure that we get through later, I'm willing to do that for them because they deserve that, right? Um, it's been a test in my faith also, because it comes from a long line of trying to do things my way and things not working out, for me to finally realize that's not the best way to do things. And learn how to realize and get in the right mindset of being like, okay, God, you brought me here for a reason, or you're allowing this to happen for a reason. Therefore, A, what's on the other side of this has got to be something fantastic. And B, if the enemy wasn't so scared of what you have for me and my family, then these attacks wouldn't be as difficult as they are now, because I'm a creature of habit. It's very easy for me to get complacent in my journey, in my life, in my marriage. It's easy for me to get complacent. I will just ride the wave. Hey, everything's good. Okay, cool. Status quo. We're just going to keep on moving, not rock the boat. We're good. But learning how to take that adversity when it's thrown at you and not just be like, okay, I'm just going to make the best of this and, we'll figure it out. But take that a step further and be like, no, there's something more. There's a reason this is happening. And it's because God wants to use this to change me and lead me, and therefore allow me to lead my family better and take my family into what he's called me to do, has been such an awesome lesson to learn, and such an incredible.
Ian, that's amazing. That is amazing. I love that. He seriously, like, Ian has just always, I've watched him over and over. He's always been so determined that no matter what gets thrown at him. And that's what this is about, y'all. Like, life is going to happen. It is. Life is going to happen. You're going to get knocked down. The reason, what separates us from people who have already achieved this, right? Who have already achieved diamond, multi-star diamond, it's not that they're more skilled. It's not that they're more talented. It's not any of that. It's that they had a level of determination that no matter what, I am going to dig my heels. I'm going to push through no matter what life brings at me. Come what may, I'm going to hit my goals, right? And that is something that I feel like when we make that decision that, hey, you know what? I'm determined. I'm going to do this. I have made that decision in me. This is going to happen, whether it happens tomorrow or whether it happens in 5 years. Of course, I'd rather it happen tomorrow, right? But no matter what, I'm doing this. And when you make that decision, there's a switch that goes off, because what happens? Then we start taking daily action that helps us achieve our goals, which leads me to my next and last thing: consistency. Consistency is key. I have a family member who I have watched over the years. She's always determined. She's wicked smart, wicked, wicked smart. But I've watched her over the years bounce from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing when it comes to her health. And each time she's like, oh, this is the next revolutionary thing. And this is going to change my health. And then it doesn't work. So then what does she do 2 minutes later? She bounces to the next thing. And she spends 5 minutes there and then she bounces. And she's done this for years. And I've always said the reason why she has not found the healing that she is looking for is because she's not even willing to stay in one place long enough and be consistent with it to allow the process of the healing. And sometimes the process, we all know this, we're in the health and wellness business. Sometimes the process of healing, it's not fun, right? We're bloated. Sometimes it makes us more bloated. Sometimes it makes us run to the bathroom more. Sometimes it gives us headaches. Sometimes, right? And a lot of people don't want to go through the process of detoxing in order to get to the other side where we start to bear the fruit of our health, right? Of feeling better, of having more energy, of all the things. We don't get sick overnight. We don't heal overnight. And so I've always said, like, she's not willing to spend time long enough in one place and be consistent to see the results she's looking for. And it's the same thing with our business. If we're not willing to be consistent, if we're not willing to get through the discomfort of those no's and people not showing up to our sip and sees and people not showing up into our calls and things not working out the way that we think that they should, right? Which, by the way, every diamond went through the exact same thing. They all had things that they guys, like one person showed up and it was my mom, right? And guess what? I recorded it anyways, and then I got off and I jumped in my feed and I was like, that was so awesome. Right? It's all about what we make of it. It's the choice that we have of making the best, of learning from it, and showing up anyway. The consistent daily actions that we take, even though they may feel small in the moment, those consistent daily actions are they are what's going to compile and help us ultimately achieve our goals that we have set for ourselves. It's hard, but it's worth it. So here's what I'm going to leave y'all with, because I feel like this is one of those days, if I don't stop, I'm going to just keep going. I was watching, I don't know if anybody has heard of PureFlix, but it's like kind of like Hallmark, but it's very clean. You don't have to worry about anything that might be on it. And there was this movie that I watched on there the other day, and this farmer, he has all this, like, hundreds of acres of family land. And this guy that was sitting in the car with him, he's a financial advisor, and he said, "How have you made it all these years through the droughts, through the the seasons where finances have been so bad? How is it that you have made it to where you are?" And he said something that has literally stuck with me. And it's so profound. He said, "Because my job is to till the ground and to prep it and to plant the seeds. God's job is to water it. God's job is to bring the rain that allows it to bear the fruit." So often I find myself, I'll get so caught up in one person, like, this person's going to order, and then I'll put all my time and my attention and my energy into that one person, and then they don't, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so upset, and all the things, right? Really, y'all, what we should be doing is we should be planting seeds and then moving on, and planting seeds and then moving on, and then planting seeds and then moving on. Now, do we come back and check in? Absolutely. We come back and check in and make sure those seeds are still, hey, how you doing? Just wanted to check back in, all the things. But we should, like, part of our consistency should be, we don't just stop and focus in on this one person and giving all of our energy and our time, because here's what's going to happen. When we plant seeds and plant seeds and plant seeds and plant seeds and plant seeds, what's going to start happening is we're going to start seeing fruit popping up in places that we were like, oh yeah, I planted seeds over here and look, it's starting to bear fruit, right? If we stop getting so focused in on just this one runner that we think is going to change everything, or this one person who's supposed to sign up and all the things, if we just continue to keep going and planting those seeds and going and going and going, guess what? The water's going to come when it's supposed to come. It's going to bear fruit when it's supposed to bear fruit. But we got to stop being so focused in on just this one person. We've got to continue to plant the seeds. When you see a farmer prep his ground, you don't see him just plant this one little spot, right? And he thinks all my harvest is going to come from this one little spot. No, they plant a massive area because they know that if they plant this massive area when the water comes, they're going to have a good amount of fruit that is going to bear, right? And so make sure that you're not getting caught up in just one or two people, but that we're just continuing to go. And then we come back and we check in. But we keep going, then we keep going. And then we come back and we check in, and then we keep going. Consistency is key. Stop taking notes and take action. Don't even take notes if you're not going to take action. Take action today. Plant seeds. Plant a bunch of them. Plant a whole bunch of them today. And then be determined that no matter what, you're going to keep going because it's going to happen, y'all. It's going to bear fruit. So, all right. I love you all. Go out there and be determined today. Go plant some seeds and go kill it. Y'all have an awesome day.